And it's interesting that you bring up the fact that the core function or the core feature that they're looking into is obviously strengthening the economy. But they also want to focus on the mining industry. And considering all the controversial things that have happened in our country in regards to mining and mine workers, what are your thoughts on this?
Look, the mining industry remains critical for South Africa, and we need to, in this country, restore a degree of confidence. Mining investment is a long-term investment. Foreign investors need to know if they're coming into South Africa, they need a relatively stable labor relations regime, they need to be able to extract profit, they need a state that assists private mining houses just as much as it likes to implement its own policies in the mining industry. And I think there's a realization of this, and I think for the ANC's point of view, yes, they understand the importance of the mining industry as a job creator. But what's interesting about the manifesto, I think, is that it papers over many of the cracks that have emerged in the alliance, particularly between the COSATU stream within the ANC and the ANC itself. In other words, the manifesto now calls for a look or an analysis of the possibility of introducing a minimum wage in South Africa. Now, this clearly is a sop to the trade unions who have asked for this, and it is also to a degree addressing the issue of inequality in South Africa that is a real issue and threatens to unhinge our society into the future. So we've seen the first signs from the ANC that a minimum wage might be on the cards, but it's very vague. And I think if you're in the union movements, you will be really knocking at the ANC's door to ask them, what do you really mean by this? What are you going to do about this? Is it just words on paper? Nevertheless, I think this is important from a mining point of view to instill a minimum wage. Secondly, if you look at the manifesto, one of the issues coming out of the manifesto is that there should be a narrowing of the wage gap between workers and the bosses, so to speak. This vast wage discrepancy that exists in South Africa. Again, something that the unions have called for time after time. The ANC in their manifesto now say that this must form part of the collective bargaining approach. Again, a sop to the trade unions. This is to try and curry favor with the trade unions who clearly have been in conflict with the ANC over the course of the last number of months. And of course, given NUMSA's now a rejection of the ANC in December, this is an attempt to claw back some support from the unions and to claw back some of the mining unions in particular back into the ANC fold. And I think the manifesto itself is a document that tries to restore this unity. I'm not convinced this is going to really be what the ANC hopes it to be, but it might just be enough for the ANC to paper over the cracks and to get some union workers back into the fold to help them in the campaign.